All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim, also known as Lakers Talk. Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC, will join us at 5 p.m. Of course, the big announcement there is Chucky Lozano. There's a lot more to get into with the expansion franchise and with its CEO. So Tom Penn will join us at 5 p.m. Off the top of the show, of course, we're about to get to the Padres, but here's our talkback question of the day. Jim just mentioned it in his update. What do you think of the decision to move the Holiday Bowl from Petco to Snapdragon? Hit us up on the talkback mic. Open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tap the talkback mic. Again, the question, what do you think of the decision? We'll get into this later this hour of moving the Holiday Bowl from Petco to Snapdragon. Hit us up on the talkback mic. Open the app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tap the mic. Meanwhile, the Padres have rattled off a win. Right? They've rattled off a consecutive win.
One consecutive win.
To get back to 500. Mike Schill called it like the perfect game. Last night, he truly is like, this is the way to play every game.
He must have been listening yesterday because he answered our question of who are the Padres.
He actually said that. He's like, you want to know who we are?
That's who we are.
This team tonight against the A's is a minus 250 favorite with Dylan Cease. That's us.
Yeah, we're going up against a borderline AAA team, but that's who we are versus everybody else.
But here's who they are. The midterm starts tonight. 4 consecutive left-handed starters as we approach the midway point of the season. 2 straight against the quote-unquote lowly A's, then 2 more lefties against a very mid, if not below average team in the New York Mets. But lefties are lefties. So it doesn't matter if it's the Yankees or if it's the A's. 4 consecutive left-handed starters after the big win last night. Is it the same old story, Jim, here, where they struggle to hit left-handed pitching, or did they figure something out yesterday with this near-perfect game that Schulte was talking about post-game?
I mean, it was a really good game from all aspects. Like, starting pitching, really good, Dylan Cease. Bullpen, really good. Robert Suarez finally got in the game. Remember him?
Really.
Remember Robert Suarez? He's really good. Offense, home runs, Suarez. Yeah, exactly. Putting 6 runs on the board. It felt like an easy 6-1 win after the Padres took that lead there in the middle of that game. But yeah, the last night's game, if you want to put that in the little vacuum, like that was a great game from the Padres' perspective. And I think Schulte, honestly, during post game, I didn't listen to it. I just read Kevin's recap of it, talking about we need to be more consistent. He brought up those words. Like, he brought up those words, not Kevin or Dennis or Marty or AJ. Like Schulte brought up the consistent word, and he's right about that. This team, if last night was the we're going to put this game on the whiteboard and hope to always be like that, I'm cool with him saying those things because he's right. They need to be more like the team they were last night, more consistent than they are like on Sunday when you have a chance and opportunity to take a series after playing 2 of your really best games of the season, Friday and Saturday night last weekend, and then put up a complete clunker on Sunday afternoon to in turn split that series. This team going forward, they're a 500 team still, which is, I feel like we're going to be saying that a lot for the foreseeable future. But the 4 lefties that you're facing, you can make people feel a lot better about your season if you happen to go, 3-1 in the next 4 games versus these lefties, and you look good against these lefties as well, and not go in these games and by the 5th inning you have 2 hits, both are singles, and you're trailing 2-0.
I guess my question would be, why should we believe that anything that happened yesterday carries over for a team that half the time wins and half the time loses? Like, did they all of a sudden on this Monday night at Petco against the Oakland A's figure something out that carries over in all other aspects of who they are? That to me is a far-flung theory.
Because you could have said the exact same thing Saturday night.
Now, you could say, the one thing I would say is, well, listen, against the lowly Angels, we were swept. Against the lowly Rockies, we were swept. Against the lowly A's, we took a game the way we were supposed to take the game. But I would tell you, and I said this last night on the wrap-up show, when you're a minus 250 favorite, they didn't do anything other than what they're expected to do. What happens now against left-handed starters, these 50-50 coin flip games that they've consistently lost against left-handed starters, do they finally show us something? And here's the other thing I want to consider. and I haven't seen the lineup as of yet.
Is it even out?
I don't know, but I'm sure they have it in the clubhouse. It'll be out momentarily if it's not out.
Yeah.
Here's the question. San Diego's lineup, lefty or righty batters, have struggled against left-handed pitching, but I'm not sitting lefties against lefties anymore. I'm not falling into that trap. I know Luis Ariz isn't healthy. I'm just watching him. He's 0 for his last 10. But Ariz is a lefty, plays. Merrill, who's hot, plays. Cronenworth, who's hot, plays. I can't get trapped. It's a trap to me to sit those players for the better platoon advantage. Like, we're in the middle of the season. You need Cronenworth, Merrill, Ariz. You cannot sit those players because you've got left-handed starters on the mound for the next 4 days. Agree? Like, what, you'd rather go with Jose Azocar than Jackson Merrill? To me, Jackson Merrill's got to play. Luis Ariz has to play. If I'm going to go down against left-handed pitching, I'm going down with them as opposed to the alternative. So I want to see the lineup, and I hope all three of them are in there tonight. I don't see why they wouldn't be, even if they don't hit left-handed pitching.
Let's just check here.
Would you agree or disagree?
No, I 100% agree with you. This whole like lefty righty matchup.
Yeah, enough
stuff,
of that.
Guess what? It's not working.
They can't hit lefties either way.
Yeah, it's not working.
Right.
So I'd rather have your best lineup in there, unless some guy's injured or can't play, rather than going into the game being like, oh, well, we're going to play righties versus a lefty pitcher because of the matchup.
We're getting too cute.
Exactly. I 100% agree. There's no lineup as of yet, John.
Okay.
So,
but they will have one tonight, I'm being told.
I would suspect,
I'm being told.
I would suspect, John, that there will be a lineup for tonight's game.
I have a source.
Oh, really?
That is locked in.
Wait, hold on.
Dialed in.
Hold on, I just got a text message.
Yes. Is it the lineup?
I
have a source.
I do have a source as well.
Yes.
And this person's listening, and they just texted me that there will be a lineup tonight as well.
There will be a lineup.
Yes. So
that's what I'm telling you.
So both of our sources have confirmed there will be a lineup tonight for the Padres.
And let me say this as well, because everyone's been talking about these, 35 and 35 Padres. They don't just need pitching, they need hitting. I've said it. Jim said it. I've said they got more concerns than just starting pitching, which, by the way, has been good, but they have injuries. So we're worried about it long term. This from, thank you too much, Mortons, for putting this together in a tweet. I screen grabbed it a few hours ago. Do the Padres actually need hitting when they lead baseball in batting average? They're fifth in on base, they're ninth in slug. There's other numbers there we could go into the weeds with, but those are the three you need to know about. They lead baseball in batting average, they're fifth in on base percentage, they're ninth in slug. Is that not good enough to get to where they need to get?
Now,
shouldn't they put their eggs in the pitching basket when they have that offense?
Now, show me the numbers versus lefties and at home.
30th, 31st, 32nd.
Now, the numbers are going to be a little better because of last Friday, Saturday, and last night at home.
Absolutely.
But so far this year, at home, compared to the road, they are a completely different offensive team.
Like a trade for a guy to play at home?
Trade for what?
Trade for a guy that just plays at home?
That's good at Petco?
No, yeah, like, hey, let's go get the best Petco guy.
Oh, yeah, whoever has the best numbers at Petco that's not on the Padres right now, go and get him.
Yeah,
go get him right now.
Go get some guy that's on parole that can't leave the state.
Yeah, he just has to stay. He stays in San Diego. Don't even give him a road jersey. They just stay at Petco, and that's where you're going to play. Those numbers, while I agree, are the totality of home, road versus lefties versus righties. All of those equal probably a top 5 offense in baseball.
Yeah, top 5, 6, 7. Let's just go there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I will say, if you dig deeper, those numbers I feel like are a little skewed.
Okay. Based on
their road statistics, and they can't hit lefties. So like,
okay.
And by the way,
I'll give you the lefties
and their home statistics leading into this homestand. And 2 out of the 5 games so far has not been great. It's nice that 3 of the 5 have been really good offensively, and those will help the numbers at home for sure. But overall, you are getting a massive boost for your overall, numbers hitting wise because of what you do on the road. And that to me kind of skews it a little bit. I still think, and we both agree, pitching is the number 1 priority for this team. But I still also think that they need at least another bat.
It's interesting because here's my counter to your, it's at least a little skewed. I like how you put it. You're not saying it's crazy skewed.
No.
But here's the truth, Jim. 70 games is 70 games. They haven't played 13 with 10 on the road where they've been amazing on the road and 0-3 at home and shut out all 3. I mean, we're at a really large sample size. It'll get larger. 70 games, it's who they are. Like they get credit for the numbers. Like nothing is as much as they get docked for Marine Layer, they get credited for the numbers. Petco Park, I think Mike Schitt was asked about this postgame last night. I was watching. It's yielding the second most home runs in baseball right now.
Well,
Petco Park is yielding the second most home runs in baseball.
Tatis's home run last night, I mean, that was just like a line drive missile shot
Well,
over the right field wall.
I guess my point is this. What do you do to address?
Marine Layer's not a factor.
What do you do then to address? Oh, they haven't hit lefties and they haven't hit at home. So the move is right-handed hitter that hits at Petco?
Well, according to Jackson Merrill, even though those numbers are what they are, he still thinks that they could be better offensively as a team.
I don't think there's any question to what team offensively we are. We have injuries. Like everybody has injuries. So, with or without those guys, we're always going to come. We're going to have good at-bats, and we're going to do pretty well. It'd be great to get X back as fast as possible, and Manny's starting to get back again. So, we're expecting to bang soon. We've been banging, but we can bang even more.
So more banging to come.
Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang.
More banging coming soon.
Yes, this team wants to bang more
in the future.
They feel like they're banging a lot right now.
Right.
But in the future,
more
banging the better. Because when you're banging, you're getting results.
Right.
You're getting, everyone's happy. More banging. More banging the better. I like that from Jackson. I like hearing that he expects them to
bang more.
Bang more.
By the way, someone mentioned this on social media.
Pause.
To us. Someone put this on social media, and they're like, I was surprised to learn that last year Manny Machado on this exact same day was having a worse year than he is this year. I'm like, wait, what? But there is a huge but in there that I didn't realize until right now. He was on the IL for weeks.
Banging in butts.
So he had 6 home runs last year on this date. He's got 6 this year on this date. He hit 30 last year. I don't think there's any path for him to hit 30 home runs this year. But the difference between this year and last year, guys, is that he missed multiple weeks last year, right? He was on the IL last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't been, he's had the paternity and he's been banged up a little bit. My point is, if you're going to be banging,
we've been banging
in the future,
but we can bang even more.
Why not just bank on Manny? Why would you go out and acquire, Mitch Moreland has really hit left-handed pitching. So let's go get Mitch Moreland to hit left-handed pitching. Bad example.
Very bad.
He played, by the way, for the Savannah Bananas the other night.
Really? In Boston?
In Boston, Fenway. Yeah. So did Jonathan Papelbon, all these guys. But what's the point? Like, you're going to go out and get guys to hit left-hand pitching? They exist here. Fernando Tatis Jr., historically, 300 hitter against lefties. Manny Machado hits left-handed pitching. They're going to bang.
When
you just heard it.
I know. When Manny's banging, Manny bangs hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, the results are there. Like, when he's banging, you feel it.
Okay.
And when he's not banging, they go in a little bit of a dry spell because I think he carries this team offensively at times, or we've seen it. And when he's hot and when he's banging, everyone else is banging as well.
What about Charles Barkley? Doesn't Charles Barkley have something to say about banging? Let's hear from Charles Barkley.
Banging you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joe, only Nugget in double figures.
We were all Shaq.
69, 59. Golden State shooting 60.
Dude, I'm not worried about I'm not going to worry about the offense.
I love when Chuck goes, "Come on, man."
Is that Chuck that said it?
Yeah. He's like saying it. He's like, when a guy's banging you,
and then he says that
and
about
then
himself.
He sees Shaq and Kenny.
He says, "Come on, man."
Dying.
Yeah.
When a guy's banging you,
and he just goes, "Come on, man." He just stops because he knows exactly what he said. Yeah.
My takeaway is this: they don't need more offense.
Ooh.
The offense exists.
A little bit of a hot take.
It's not a hot take at all. You just said they're like a top 5 offense.
Yeah.
And Manny Machado's done nothing. Just trust in Machado. Trust in Toddy.
Oh, okay.
And you got a top 5 offense right now. They got way bigger. They're scoring 5 runs per game. More than enough. More than enough. They should be better than 35 and 35 scoring 5 runs per game.
What are they scoring at home?
5 runs per game, probably 4.5. They're not as good at home. I mean, so they've had a worse record at home. Unfortunately, there's no home acquisition they can make to change that.
All right. So they're banging enough.
Yeah. This is the best offense, Jim, we've ever seen since you've covered the Padres, outside of the fake year.
Okay.
Agreed or disagreed? Give me the offense that was better in the last 15 years.
No,
So then it's good.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So then let's just put that into a little box and move that to the side and deal with the real issue, which is Joe Musgrove. Potentially you, Darvish. It sounds like they're going to get Darvish back. But just put the eggs in the pitching basket because, again, I've been the one to want to discount the offense too. All these 4-run innings, is it sustainable? They do it every single night. Every other night, they're scoring 4 runs in an inning. It's incredible. It's like a completely different offense from last year. I don't know how they've done it.
Until in 2 weeks from now, when they go through a stretch again where they can't score more than 3 runs, and you're sitting here saying they need more offense.
But the truth is they haven't had prolonged stretches where they're not scoring. Other than 5 games.
Huh?
Other than a 5-game stretch. It's not prolonged. Last year was like a month. A month.
This team has gone through multiple stretches.
Nah, more than like
where it's
5
like,
games.
well, the Padres haven't scored in 26 innings.
Dude, that was the best 5-game losing streak they've ever had.
Oh man,
that's what Schulte said last night.
They weren't banging then. They were not banging.
Again, you're never gonna have the number 1 offense in baseball. Probably my point is this is good enough to go deal with something else.
I would much rather have the number 1 pitching staff in baseball overall than the number 1 offense in baseball.
What do you got, Brian?
5 a game on the road, 4 a game at home.
All good. And again, if I could fix home, I would. Like, I don't understand why they're not as good at home as they are on the road. I wish I had the answer to that, but they've, this homestand's been all right at home, hasn't it? 3-1, 2 games to go against Oakland. Chance at a 4-2 homestand, maybe better. It's been all right.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
They were 2-2 against Arizona.
2-2 against Arizona.
So
I was going to say, if they win this series.
Yeah, I agree.
And what you would love to see is them finally, I don't know, sweep a team.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you took game 1 and you looked great doing it. Schulte said it was the greatest game that he's ever seen his entire life. Maybe not that far, but he was close.
Right.
Jackson says that they're on the verge of banging a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can take down 2 lefties tonight and tomorrow, going into that off day, you have now had probably the best homestand of stretch of the season.
Okay.
You would have been 5-2. Name me another time they went 5-2 on a homestand this year.
Well, they haven't because they're under 500.
Exactly. So your midseason report card, John, will look very good if they can finally accomplish something that they have not accomplished all year, and the only team in baseball to not do it, which is sweep a team.
Yeah, I don't know if it's coming or not. I mean, they definitely have to prove something to us against left-handed starters. So, yeah, this is the midterm exam. We're pushing the midway point of the season. What do they do over the next 4 games against left-handed starters? Can they win 3 times or not? We're going to find out in the days ahead. All right, our talkback question of the day. What do you think of the decision to move the Holiday Bowl from Petco Park to Snapdragon Stadium? Hit us up on that talkback mic. Open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tap the talkback mic. We'll play your responses coming up later this hour. Tom Penn is the CEO of San Diego FC. He'll join us at 5 p.m. Our thoughts on the Holiday Bowl moving back to Mission Valley next on Jon and Jim.
We've been banging, but we can bang even more.
All right, what do you think of the decision to move the Holiday Bowl from Petco to Snapdragon this year? You can hit us up on the Talkback mic, open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the Talkback mic. Your response is coming up this hour.
This update's brought to you by Taco Bell. Padres riding a one-game winning streak will take on the Oakland A's in Game 2 of their three-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. Moving over to NBA action. Tomorrow night, Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Celtics and Mavericks. Kristaps Porzingis dealing with a rare leg injury. I can't even explain it if I even tried. He's now going to be questionable for the Celtics for Game 3 and the rest of this series. And the Holiday Bowl announced today they are moving from Petco Park to Snapdragon Stadium for the upcoming year. The Cravings Value Menu from Taco Bell, 10 items, each for just $3 or less, including favorites like the cheesy double beef burrito, loaded beef nachos, and the 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt. At participating U.S. stores while supplies last, prices do vary, taxes extra. Double seasoned beef compared to Burrito Supreme.
Hit us up with your response on the Talkback mic. Open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tap the Talkback mic. We'll play your responses coming up later this hour. This is a significant San Diego story because the Holiday Bowl has been played in the city for more than 40 years. Most of its history, of course, at Qualcomm Stadium, Jack Murphy, etc., in Mission Valley. For a brief period during construction, the pandemic, without really another facility, they went to Petco Park. We've had those games right here on San Diego Sports 760. Well attended, good atmospheres, relatively good games. After 2 games at Petco, the game is moving back to Mission Valley, to Snapdragon Stadium, which is presumably a huge win for San Diego State. A marquee event in a 35,000-seat stadium. You could see a program like Florida State, Clemson, Notre Dame, USC, Washington, potentially here in 2024. So a huge win for Snapdragon Stadium at San Diego State with the Holiday Bowl moving from downtown to Mission Valley.
So the Holiday Bowl has technically been at Petco Park for 3 years. The first year, the game didn't even get played because UCLA's incompetence. And then the last 2 years, I know you've broadcasted there and done the games.
Correct.
How would you, I guess, rate the Holiday Bowl experience at Petco Park?
I thought it was really good. My caveat was the playing field, because the first year when they sodded the infield dirt, it was not done properly. And I don't know all the terminology there, but you had two like first round caliber quarterbacks, Drake May, Bo Nix. Were they both taken in the first round?
Bo Nix was. Drake May was. Absolutely
so
was.
You had two first round quarterbacks a year before they go in the first round playing on I don't even know how to describe the field. Not good field conditions.
It was less than ideal conditions.
It was honestly, it was remarkable that there wasn't something significant that came out of it, because you had this great quarterback matchup. It was a very good game, decided by 1 point, I think.
Well, Caleb Williams didn't play this year. Well, for obvious reasons.
No, but his backup threw for like 5 touchdowns.
Who was the other quarterback? What team did they play? It was Louisville and USC.
Yeah, SC Louisville. But the SC quarterback was unbelievable in that game.
Yeah, like sophomore.
To the point where he's competing for the job this year. Anyway, the point is this. Crowds were good. Atmosphere was very good. But at the end of the day, you have to remember this too. Again, the field conditions were an issue and probably a significant one. At the end of the day, and it's a credit to the Padres and Peter Seidler for, kind of allowing for the Holiday Bowl to be there temporarily, but it's a baseball stadium. You've got now a modern day football stadium. So with the availability of Snapdragon Stadium, it just makes sense to go from baseball stadium to football stadium, I would think, from the Holiday Bowl's perspective.
And this was, I would assume, the dream and goal and hopes once Snapdragon Stadium got built, right? Is that in the future, they hope to host bowl games there, right? Like that
I'm sure it was one of dozens of events they would want to host.
But like if you had a whiteboard and you said, all right, goals for Snapdragon Stadium, they've checked off a lot. MLS team, check. NWSL team, check. Right? Rugby there, check. They have, obviously college football, Aztecs, check. They also concerts, check. They've had
dirt shows,
monster truck, check. They've played lacrosse out there, check.
I mean, they've had international soccer. Manchester United's played there.
Yeah, multiple soccer events, check. I think the next on the box is to check off was bowl games. And the Holiday Bowl is a big bowl game to get, I think personally, because this town, that's the only bowl game they have now. The Poinsettia Bowl went away long ago with Qualcomm. And Holiday Bowl, once Qualcomm became obsolete and they tore that thing down, it was like there was a brief little time there, kind of scared of like, where's the Holiday Bowl going to play? And thankfully, Eric Grupner, Peter Seidler, and the Padres stepped up and got it at Petco Park. But you saw just like, while the event there was great, already downtown, the parade, everything, it's all there. It's perfect location. Interesting how that is. And
what's the interesting part about that?
That I'm talking about like NFL wise, like stadium.
Oh, the location
here and how that didn't work out in San Diego. Anyway, everything was great except for the playing field. And if the playing field's not great, that's a problem, because that's like kind of the most important thing, is to have a good playing field.
Yeah, that and the other issue with it, and this has nothing to do with Petco Park. It's a ballpark issue.
Size of it.
No, not size, because Snapdragon's actually smaller. It's that when you sit behind home plate, you're nowhere near the field. So you've got this wide portion of the seating bowl that isn't desired seating, where you go to a football stadium like Snapdragon Stadium and everything's set up for a 100-yard football field.
That's perfect.
Where Petco, you're cutting the thing in a different manner, and it's just not seamless. Again, they made it work. It was a good event. I was there for back-to-back years. They did a nice job with it. They spent a lot of money to outfit Petco Park for football. I don't know if they got the return on it or not, but from San Diego State's perspective, and I don't know what this means, by the way, for the Aztecs long-term. Next 2 years, the contract is this: ACC opponent against a 2023 Pac-12 team. So any team that was in the Pac-12 in 2023 can play in the Holiday Bowl. Okay. But when this bowl deal comes up in 2 years, I wonder if there could be some type of cutout for a San Diego State or a Mountain West, especially with less power leagues. San Diego State played in this game in the 80s one time, so it's not unprecedented. So I wouldn't be shocked if there was some type of carve out or cutout, and I have no knowledge of this, that someone like a Mountain West champion in the future, specifically San Diego State, could potentially get into this game. Now, this is about selling hotel rooms. So San Diego State isn't the ideal fit from that perspective, but in terms of selling tickets, San Diego State works for it. But right now it's Pac-12 against ACC. It won't be in 2 years. Pac-12 won't exist the way it does now. So they'll have to find another conference to tie into the Holiday Bowl in 2 years.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay. How many times has Hawaii played in the Hawaii Bowl?
Oh, tons.
A lot?
Dozen, maybe more.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking of like areas that have a bowl game, or even stadiums that these college teams play and have bowl games. How many times do those teams actually play like in those games?
It was, some of them were made for their like quote unquote home team.
Okay.
Poinsettia Bowl had San Diego State multiple times. Hawaii Bowl has had the Rainbow Warriors multiple times. I don't know if on the blue, if Boise State's played in their bowl game at Albertson Stadium on the blue, the Boise Idaho Potato Bowl. I'm not sure if they've played
I think the Holiday Bowl is a step up from those bowl games. Like if you're talking about,
it's been around for 45 years. I mean, BYU won a national championship at the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah. For me, we know the top tier bowl games, okay, which are turning into playoff games. Okay. I would put the Holiday Bowl right below those games that aren't playoff bowls.
So, like, would you say, because I agree, would you say on par with like Alamo Bowl?
Isn't Alamo Bowl in the?
It's on the playoff.
Oh, no, that's the Cotton Bowl.
Like Capital One Bowl in Florida on January 1st, Outback Bowl.
Yeah.
Like it's been in that category in its history. They've had some amazing teams playing it. I mean, BYU played in it at the onset, won a national championship in it, whenever that was, 70s or 80s. So it's had some storied programs. It's had some big time games.
I would put the Holiday Bowl again in a tier that is below, obviously,
the playoff
bowl games. But it is, I would say, when I think of bowls and you say Holiday Bowl, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Holiday Bowl.
Yeah,
like,
especially in San Diego.
It's a very recognizable bowl.
No doubt. What do you got, Brent?
Hawaii Bowl started in 2002, and Hawaii has been in it 9 times.
Yeah, so every other year.
Okay.
So
Hawaii, but that makes sense because they're on the islands.
But also, my point is, like, no offense to the Hawaii Bowl, it's not on par with the Holiday Bowl.
They're the shamanada of football.
So,
right, because you don't have like the Holiday Bowl has had Michigan playing it.
Yeah,
and Michigan State and USC.
Right, big time games, big time schools.
Right.
So from that standpoint, I'm thinking like it's not really like a bowl that you would create for like the hometown team, like the Aztecs.
That was more poinsettia, where you had the Mountain West tie-in with the poinsettia the week before the holiday.
Yeah. So for me, if you're saying the Aztecs would play in the Holiday Bowl, they would need to have like a
really good season,
insanely good season to be in it, and not just be like, oh, they're 7-5, so they're in the Holiday Bowl.
Well, you're probably right, but there's bowls that have carve outs beyond leagues. Now we're getting into the weeds, but like there are bowls that have like, or Notre Dame or BYU or Hawaii. Like there's circumstances that play out that allow Hawaii to get into a bowl game, or Notre Dame, and so on and so forth. We can get your calls on the other side on this, 877-767-4760. Plus the talkback mic is open. We'll air your responses on the other side if you want to weigh in. What do you think of the decision to move the Holiday Bowl from Petco to Snapdragon? You can open up the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, tap the talkback mic. We'll air your responses on the other side. Plus take your calls, 877-767-4760. It's Jon and Jim. All right, still time to hit us up on that talkback mic if you want to weigh in. What do you think of the decision to move the Holiday Bowl from Petco to Snapdragon Stadium? You can open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, and tap the talkback mic. Your calls and talkbacks next. San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere, whether you're stepping out of the car or settling in at home, just ask your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or stream it live through the iHeartRadio app. It's never been easier to stay connected with your favorite shows like this one. San Diego Sports 760 goes where you go. All right, we will get your talkbacks. People want to weigh in about the Holiday Bowl moving from downtown back to Mission Valley, including Dave, who's been patient. He's been holding for the last 10 or so minutes. Dave, appreciate you calling in. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Well, thanks for having me again, gentlemen. Great topic of the day here. So I have a couple of friends actually that are on the Holiday Bowl committee, and I will tell you from their personal perspective, they always swore to me upside and down that they would never darken the doorstep of Snapdragon because it was too small, too this, too that. So I put a call into them today, and they have yet to call me back. So there you go. But nonetheless, part of it is the attendance the last 2 years is trending down. You're 36,000 in 2022 and change. Last year, 35,317. I don't think that's so much a venue problem as it is what's happening in college football structure of the end of the season. Now you've got the playoff system coming. These bowl games are becoming less and less significant. That's the God's honest truth. You've got the opt-outs. We didn't see Caleb Williams last year, but we charged top buck to get into these things. People are catching up to this, guys. And so the Holiday Bowl knows this. They've got a problem on their hands, in the future with this opt-out situation. I know how I would solve it, but people wouldn't like it. I would require these teams to start making commitments with their players. If they can't, then some of that money that we give to them needs to come back in our pocket, because it's just not fair to the fans to expect them to pay top dollar for a product that you don't get. And so this is the dilemma that really needs to be talked about. And all of the bowls face this. It's not just the Holiday Bowl.
Dave, we appreciate it. I mean, that's another conversation. Whether bowl games aren't as topical as they were 20 years ago, that's probably fair. But the truth is, people watch them on TV. There's revenue. There's sponsorships. Title sponsorship, DirecTV. There's 30,000 people in the building. That's a lot of revenue. The teams are getting paid to appear in these games. You know what I mean? Like the system exists. It's making people money.
Yeah.
Therefore, until it's not, I don't think there'll be anyone to really rock the boat.
And there's not a 70,000 seat stadium here in San Diego anymore. So
And
you
you don't
got to
need
work.
one.
You got to work with what you got.
Well, what would a 70,000 seat stadium have to do with this?
I'm just
You know what I
saying,
mean?
like from an attendance standpoint, if you were looking to, the Holiday Bowl needs more people there. Okay, but
Did you ever go with the queue?
the queue is not full.
You went to the Holiday Bowl, right? At some point?
Well,
You
I remember the game you called. It was like Iowa
I
and
called two at the queue. There was Iowa SC. There was Northwestern Utah.
I wasn't Iowa
probably-
SC pretty full.
And no more than
Ish.
40 something.
Okay,
Yeah, which is a big crowd. But again, 70,000. I mean,
you're not
come
kidding, you're
on.
not
How many bowl games could even
You're-
draw 70,000?
you're only doing 70,000 for national championship game, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Again, you were at Charger games. I mean, there were nights where the place, if it was filled, wasn't only filled with I mean, 70,000 is a big number.
If you get 35 plus at Snapdragon, then
That's massive.
it's gonna.
Well, you can't draw more than that.
And I did. There were a lot of empty seats at Petco Park for the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah, there's some, but I mean, you're still. But they did announce like 35K.
Yeah, it's just the dimensions are like you said, just a little
It's
different
wonky.
when it's in a football stadium and everything is on the field wise. It's like it just was a weird setup. But
Yeah, I
I mean, it
wouldn't
was cool seeing to see Petco Park turn into a football field.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Petco had future college football games because they now have it outfitted where they can do it. I also wouldn't be surprised if Snapdragon Stadium had potentially a second bowl in the future or additional neutral site, quote unquote, football games other than San Diego State home games.
Well, it's great that for people out there that were questioning Snapdragon Stadium, this place sucks, or this place isn't equipped to hold like premier events. That's not a great day for you, probably.
I mean, it's crazy from Major League Soccer, National Women's Soccer, international friendlies. I think some world competitions that have been staged. I forget exactly what they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a lot of high profile events.
They just had the
concerts.
The NWSL championship. They had, I think,
there was a U.S.
U.S.
men's
women.
national team game, wasn't there?
I think there was, or women's.
I think both
At Snapdragon. Yeah, it's holding a lot of events, guys. A lot of events.
It absolutely is. Again, with our climate, and yeah, it's a win-win. Let's get to the talk back, Mike. People want to weigh in. Your thoughts on the Holiday Bowl moving from downtown to Snapdragon?
Hmm.
Well, it is the world.
Right.
People do have social media.
People can complain about anything.
We complain about everything. If you want to weigh in 70470, you can start your message with the word team. We'll get to the wrap. On the other side, Tom Penn, speaking of soccer at Snapdragon Stadium, he's the CEO of San Diego FC. They've officially announced the signing of a designated player, Chucky Lozano. Tom Penn will join us coming up at 5 p.m. We'll talk more about San Diego Football Club. On the other side, the wrap. Plus, we'll tell you about today's giveaways. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Taco Bell. Padres and A's tonight, game 2 of their 3-game series. 6:40 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. Still no lineup from the Padres as of yet, John. Moving over to the NBA Finals. Game 3 tomorrow night in Dallas, but Kristaps Porzingis is questionable for the rest of the series with a knee injury. And the Holiday Bowl today announced they are moving from Petco Park to Snapdragon Stadium for the upcoming football season. The Cravings Value Menu from Taco Bell, 10 items, each for just $3 or less, including faves like the cheesy double beef burrito, loaded beef nachos, and the 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt at participating U.S. stores while supplies last. Price varies, tax extra, double seasoned beef compared to the Burrito Supreme.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Later this hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair going on starting this week, June 12th. Is that tomorrow? What's today?
Today's June 11th, Sean.
Yes.
So the day after June 11th this year is?
June 13th.
June 12th. So starting tomorrow through July 7th. Did you really think that?
For a second, I thought you said 12. I said 13.
How are we
Jim's like,
supposed
it's
to
leap
do
year.
a show
What do you mean?
every day when you are one of the 2 people that is on the show? What are the expectations? Can we get our program director in here? What are the expectations for the show? Are we supposed to do it every day? It's supposed to be good?
So here's the thing. I was fully paying attention to you, too. I was looking
I'm
at
like,
you.
what's the day after June 11th? And you're like, the 13th.
I don't know.
Dude, you're going to have... I wouldn't be surprised, like, if you got lost in Europe. I wouldn't be surprised if you're not going to Switzerland and you end up in, like, Switzerland, Texas.
I think Aaron needs to put you on like one of those baby leashes that you see parents at the mall with so their kids can't run away.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes. Like
Make sure you don't get hostile.
call this number in case of it missing. Like,
We had to do that to my buddy once when we were partying in La Crosse. We had to write our hotel room number on his arm. So if we lost him,
Right,
they'd
you know where to go.
send him. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we have San Diego County Fair tickets. It starts tomorrow, June 12th. It goes through July 7th. It's at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Let's look back, have some fun together, and go retro. For tickets and info, go to sdfair.com. We'll give those away coming up at 4:45. Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego FC, will join us at 5 p.m. today. By the way, Jack Cronin, Kogo Zone, our sister station, friend of San Diego Sports 760, he will do an hour-long San Diego FC show this Thursday.
wow.
From 6 to 7 p.m.
Wow.
It's kind of hoping 5 to 6, but it's 6 to 7 p.m.
I was hoping from 3 to 6.
You were hoping a 3-hour show. Jack Cronin, if you're looking for more on San Diego FC, I think special guests include Darren Smith from 6 to 7 on Thursday. Much more on Chucky Lozano coming up on Thursday. But again, Tom Penn will join us today at 5 p.m. So again, giveaways coming up right now. Let's get to this.
We used to watch the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest, even though Joey Chestnut won't compete.
No, this is a travesty for our country. 4th of July is now ruined, and it's all ruined because of capitalism. Good job, Joey Chestnut.
Wait, so the capitalism being that he did a deal with Impossible Foods, which is a competitor to Nathan's. Therefore, he is ineligible to participate in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, he wasn't banned for like some
thing that
PEDs.
PEDs, like expanding his stomach beyond the
He wouldn't have
regulated
experimental stomach surgery.
what's the equivalent? Like, what? I don't understand really, because
It's
like
like-
in basketball, I can wear different branded shoes. You know what I mean? Like if I'm
Look, it would be like this. If you entered a Coca-Cola drinking contest
And I
every
was
year and
sponsored
you
by
won
Pepsi?
it, but you were walking around drinking Pepsi when you weren't at the contest, it would be complete within Coke's right to tell you to kick rocks. We don't want you there because you're only supposed to drink Coke.
I'm still
Again,
gonna watch.
When
Is the other guy in it?
hold on. When is the
Kobayashi?
last?
Kobayashi
No,
retired,
stop.
I think.
When is the last time that you
watched?
fully watched the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
95.
It's like
But
5 minutes.
now that I found out he's not in it, this is gonna bring eyeballs to the TV.
It will.
My 2 eyeballs. Actually, it's not that intriguing to me.
You just said you're gonna watch
I'm
it.
over it now. They dip the thing in water and they're so good.
It's
at
kind
eating.
of disgusting.
It's disgusting.
But it's
Just the
also
bun and water thing is gross.
Yeah.
it's also like it's like watching a train wreck. You're like, why
Is
am I
it?
watching this? But I can't stop watching this. You know, Joey Chestnut one year was here at Petco Park. They had an
Okay.
ice cream eating contest in Gallagher Square.
Okay.
And of course he won it.
Mhm.
And he was there, and watching that was not pleasant. It kind of made me not want to eat ice cream for a little while.
Is this
How
the
could
best?
you not get brain freeze?
Yeah, that is weird. Is this the best day like for Kobe? Is Kobayashi still doing it?
I think he retired.
Yeah, he
Because before Joey,
retired,
did he
yeah.
retire because of Joey Chestnut?
I don't know.
Because Kobayashi was like the big deal before Joey Chestnut.
There's a fascinating I don't know. I don't
They have a
think-
30 for 30 on him.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it a
Yes, he retired in 2022.
documentary, but they did follow like Joey Chestnut around, or like they followed some some professional eaters around, and they're like training for these eating contests are insane. Like they would eat whole heads of lettuce, like
To
just
expand their stomach.
to expand their
Yeah.
stomach.
Well, yeah, you don't just go into this thing cold.
No,
like if
I
I
know.
go to the Nathan's hot dog eating
You're
contest,
eating like 2.
and I'm a vegan, I wouldn't eat more than 2, and I'd still throw up eating 2.
I know
Dude,
you
they
would.
showed on the 30 for 30 that like their stomachs pretty much expand to the size of like a hefty garbage bag
It's
by the
That can't
time
be
they're
good
done
for you.
eating. No, it's not. That's why
Probably
Kobayashi
not.
retired, I think.
But at the same time, I mean, that's their job. So
True. Next question.
Will Fernando Tatis finish in the top 5 of NL MVP voting?
right now in the
This is
National
the
League.
day he entered the MVP
According-
conversation.
for you, it is
Yes,
last
it-
year. Yeah.
Last
It's the
night,
anniversary.
last night he entered the MVP conversation with that opposite field home run.
Yes, he did.
You heard it
John.
here first.
All right, top 5 in the National League right now. Ohtani, Mookie,
Yep. I mean, Proey.
Harper, Pro,
Yeah.
Toddy. I'm gonna say, I mean, it all depends if he keeps this up, obviously, but I will say yes, he'll finish top 5.
I mean, I'd be.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're gonna sneeze. Bless you. I think he's got a decent shot to do it, but again, 16 games doesn't make a season, and we saw
Come on,
a good
John.
month a year
Live
ago.
a little. Yes, it does.
No, it just doesn't. So I'll bet on Tatis. Yeah, I'll bet on Tatis. I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he can finish in the top 5. I'll bet on Tatis.
He's just lucky he's not in the American League because that
They'd be like,
thing's-
will he finish in the top 50?
right.
Yeah. No, he's had a real, honestly, you look at Tatis's numbers now for the season, even with the slow start, and they do stack up. All right, next question.
Who would you rather be? Play as Patrick Mahomes for a football game or play as Scotty Scheffler for a round of golf?
I completely stole this question
Right.
because I had nothing else, but I completely stole it.
So this means we are this person for one game.
Yeah.
Mahomes is the chief
Like,
quarterback, or
Do we
Scotty
get their
Scheffler?
paycheck too?
no, Brent.
See, that's actually a good point.
No, you just get to play as Patrick Mahomes for a football game or play as Scotty Scheffler for a round of golf.
So either you can just play
Get
golf or you
hit.
get the crap beat
Right.
out of you for 3 hours.
I think I'd rather play golf.
But it's
So would I.
the question is more or less like you get to inherit their skills and know what it feels like to be the best player in the world at football and or the best player in the world at golf.
I actually think golf might be more enjoyable. Like the idea that you could just
100%.
swing the club and put the ball within 5 feet of the hole.
100%.
Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable.
I would love to be Scotty Scheffler for one round of golf at Augusta.
And shoot a 64.
Yeah. Everything I hit is exactly where I
Yeah.
want it to go. Just puring ball after ball after ball. just banging left and right balls, just banging
You think
balls.
that's better than being Mahomes against the Chargers at SoFi in front of all Chiefs fans winning 31-30?
Because if you're Mahomes, what if the game plan is run the football like 35 times? So you're really
Andy's not going to do that to you because he knows you're filling in for him.
Now, if you were to tell me the Patrick Mahomes game that you play as is a
Super
game
Bowl
where,
against the Niners. Yes. I would rather be Patrick Mahomes in the 2 Super Bowl wins against the Niners. Would you choose those games?
I would, because I would make sure to
You
throw
would
as many
fix it.
interceptions as I possibly can. I would throw the ball.
Well, fine.
Nowhere near my
I would be
receivers.
Brock Purdy for the Niners, and I would throw even more interceptions than you throw.
No, that's not possible.
Next question.
Do you think Manny Machado is overrated?
I do not think he's overrated. And the reason why we asked this question is because The Athletic came out with an article yesterday, I guess, asking anonymous players around baseball, who do you think the most overrated player in baseball is?
59 players were polled. 2 had Machado on their ballot. So 2 of 59, 3.3%.
Jazz Chisholm, number 1. Anthony Rendon, number 2. Blake Snell and Manny Machado got 2 out of the 59 votes. So 3.3% or whatever.
When you compare him to like Rendon, there's no comp. And it doesn't surprise me he would appear on a ballot or 2. He's so polarizing. And since 2022, Machado hasn't replicated those numbers. But I don't think it's any cause for alarm that 2 of 59 anonymous players said Machado is the most overrated player. If it was 17 players, if it was half the league,
if it was like 1,000, if it was like 1,000 players
and 200
said it.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of 59, I'm not going to lose sleep over. Now, who are those 2? Are they? Could they be on the Padres? One of those players?
I'm going to say the players are Juan Soto.
Said that?
And Xander Bogaerts. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But it is like a very, very misleading chart. Like, I love graphs. I love charts. I love percentages, right?
Do you?
But if, like you said, if you tell me 3.3% of baseball players think that Manny Machado is overrated, that's totally misleading because it's only 59 players. And how many players are in baseball? Like,
well,
thousands.
25 times 30 is 750, so 900. There's like roughly over the course of the year, 1,000 players will play the big leagues more. No, I don't. Honestly, even if you told me 3% of all major league players said Manny Machado was the most overrated player, I'd be like, okay, it's 3%. He's also one of the most recognizable players in the sport. I mean, truthfully, it would, like, you could put Trout on this list today. You could put Bogaerts on this list today. And maybe you could have put like Soto on this list at some point, like in 2023 with the under. I don't think it's that much of an indictment. Like 2 out of 59.
But it's again, 59 players. We're gonna make a giant graph out of it.
2 per team, right?
Okay.
30 teams times 2, so 2 per team.
So
a giant graph.
Players on the list: Jazz Chisholm.
What percent?
20.3%.
Okay, so like 12 of those 59.
Anthony Rendon at 10.2%.
Okay.
Carlos Correa, 6.7%. Tim Anderson, 5%. Jack Flaherty, 5%. And then you got Pete Alonso, Cody Bellinger, Alex Bregman, Ellie De La Cruz, Manny Machado, Blake Snell, all at 3.3%. Players to receive 1 vote. So 1 out of 59 players. Javi Baez, Yordan Alvarez, Chris Bryant, Emmanuel Clase, Garrett Cole, Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Carlos Rodon, Julio Rodriguez, Marcus Stroman, Christian Yelich, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I feel like there's some vendettas in there.
Well, here's the thing. Why would Jack Flaherty be on anyone's list for most overrated player when he's not even rated? You know, like some of these players, how could you be the most overrated player? Who's ever thought of Jack Flaherty as this like elite talent in today's
there needs to be
baseball?
Like we're only going to do this if X amount of players respond, and the X amount needs to be well over like 100 or like 200 because 59 players.
That's such clickbait. When you sent it to me, because
such clickbait.
You were like,
You're
dude, right. I'm like, no, this doesn't mean anything
because I didn't see the 59 responses
like
at first.
2 out of 59. Who are these 2? I mean,
2 players.
Yeah, 2 players out of 59. Now, this is what Manny would say about himself. If Marty Caswell was in the clubhouse and said, hey, your numbers are down, He said, well, it's on me, blah, blah, blah. I got to be better. Back of my baseball card. Like he wouldn't run away from not living up to his expectations. Like I think he would tell you he hasn't lived up to expectations.
Yeah.
But I don't think that, is it fair? Like, is that fair that 3% of players would say he's quote unquote the most overrated? Arguably, honestly, Jim, maybe it's by fine. So the last 2 years haven't been great for Manny Machado. So maybe he has been overrated the last 2 years. That's fair? He would probably tell you that he hasn't lived up to expectations since 2022.
Only if you gave him truth serum.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a lineup, John.
I told you they'd have a lineup tonight.
Me too. We both.
I knew
our
it.
sources are both correct.
Yeah. Why'd they wait so long?
I don't know. Good question.
Let me guess.
Okay, hold on.
I will say I'm going to do it. You don't like when I say this, I'm going to say it when they buck the trend. And they're going to keep Arise, Merrill, Crony in the lineup against a lefty that's very tough on left-handed pitchers, whatever his name is, JP Sears or something.
It's in the hitters. Yeah.
Whatever.
You would be correct.
I mean, they're playing well, swinging the bats well.
Pretty much the same lineup, just
good.
Higashioka's in there, catcher.
Don't get too cute. You can't hit lefties either way.
Yeah. Arise, Tatis, Proe, Manny's back in cleanup.
Okay.
Solano, Cronenworth, Kimmy, Merrill, Higashioka. There's your lineup.
Let's see. I mean, the good news is 3 of the last 4 games they've scored. Like their bats have been really good. The bad news is it's left-handed pitching. It's the story we've discussed. The bad news is it's a team that's not very good that they're playing in Oakland. It's a night game at Petco Park. Isn't there a giveaway tonight? Be packed again.
It is the
Joe Musgrove basketball jersey night.
That's what it is.
So, if ever an opportunity, Oakland at home. I know Oakland's not last year's Oakland. Maybe they're not the worst team in baseball, but if ever an opportunity, and they've had a few of these that they haven't taken advantage of, go take advantage of this. Are we asking for that much? 70 games into the season? Something.
Are we asking that much of a 500 team to sweep a baseball team?
I'm not even saying that yet. I'm saying go win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can talk about that tomorrow.
I just think that they have an opportunity in front of them, and they've had multiple opportunities in front of them this year that they haven't capitalized on one time.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not like it's game 3 of the series tonight. It's only game 2. But tonight, just if I'm looking at this series I would love to say this, in a vacuum.
What kind of vacuum? Like a Dyson?
Dyson's a very nice vacuum. Yeah, I'd say Dyson.
Or those small little ones. Roomba?
Ooh, yeah, Roomba. If I'm looking at this series in a Roomba.
Shark.
Yeah. If I'm looking at this series in a Roomba, then a sweep to me kind of feels like, yeah, they need to have that. Just from the mental standpoint of like they can do it. They're the only team in baseball having a sweep this year. The only team. And I'm not saying it's the end all be all. You can make the postseason and not have one sweep this entire season. But if you have a slip up here after, say, you win the first 2 games, then on Wednesday you get your ass beat, like that just doesn't feel good. And it's not like a good sign for this team that they don't have that finish off mentality. Because they're banging a lot.
They're banging.
They need to finish.
What the interesting thing, like you said, you don't have to sweep anyone to get to the postseason. We've touched on this briefly. Like someone could get to the postseason. I don't know if it's going to be the Padres. Someone might get to the postseason this year at 500. Theoretically, you could maybe even do worse than that and make the postseason. That'll be interesting to see, like how everyone looks at that. But like this idea that, well, bad teams you need to be good against. Kevin writes about this a lot. But teams that make the postseason are almost uniformly good against bad teams. But will that hold true this year? Because the National League, we talked about it yesterday with Mike Farron. There are 8 teams within a couple of games of each other that have not been very good. And inevitably, like he said yesterday, some of those teams have to make the postseason, not necessarily by quote unquote earning it, just because you might kind of fall into it. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be quasi earned. Like I don't think teams will be under 500.
Like if the Padres all of a sudden finish up September 12-16 in September.
Yeah.
And make the postseason. Now, again, you've had like the 98 Padres have a god-awful September. They still won 98 games and they made the World Series. But I think a 12-16, just for argument's sake, September wouldn't equal 98 wins. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're not going to get to 98 wins.
I know they're not.
Either way.
But that to me would be like kind of backing into the postseason at like 81 wins or 82 wins. That means they'd also have to play good baseball leading up to it.
Yeah, it's going to be weird to watch. It's going to be weird to watch. Again, they have some things they need to figure out, such as beating left-handed pitching, and they will face 4 consecutive left-handed starters beginning tonight, game 2 of a 3-game series against the Oakland A's. So still to come here today. We'll give these away in about 20 minutes or so. We've got a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. This is June 12th through July 7th, Del Mar Fairgrounds. Let's look back, have some fun together, and go retro. For tickets and info, go to sdfair.com. Do not call now. We'll give those away again later this hour. And then Third Eye Blind, we sang it yesterday. Their famous Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, other ones as well. We have tickets for that in the 5 o'clock hour. Pair of tickets, Third Eye Blind, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on June 21st. Now, what's interesting is what is being written about right now in The Athletic by Jim Bowden. All right, Jim Bowden at The Athletic.
Oh, I love a Jim Bowden like
everything about
piece.
him. Everything about him. So he has written about the deadline. We are 50 days out, which is 7 weeks in a day. So we're inching closer. He has written about the Padres' needs. Do they match your Padres' needs? What we think the Padres need. We can get into that on the other side. I don't know if you wrote that or not, but you can tell us on the other side. Plus, again, Trainwreck Radio, your chance to win that 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. What does Jim Bowden, former Major League Baseball GM, I think of 3 teams, think the Padres need to do at the trade deadline 50 days away? Jim remains annoying. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, so imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free with no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home, and you can use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saving over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up, and you can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, maybe get some money for home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Here's the number to call. You can do it right now, 619-207-4336, 619-207-4336, or loanpronto.com. Again, write it down, 619-207-4336, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This update's brought to you by Taco Bell. Game 2 on a Tuesday for the Padres against the Oakland A's. 6:40 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. Moving over to the NBA Finals. Game 3 tomorrow night in Dallas. Celtics might be without Kristaps Porzingis as he's dealing with a right knee rare injury. He's questionable for the rest of the series. And the Holiday Bowl today announced they are moving from Petco Park to Snapdragon Stadium for the upcoming football season. The Cravings Value Menu from Taco Bell, 10 items each for just $3 or less, including faves like the cheesy double beef burrito, loaded beef nachos, and the 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt. At participating U.S. stores while supplies last. Price does vary. Taxes extra, double seasoned beef compared to the Burrito Supreme.
I don't know what you're calling that Porzingis injury rare when you could just say what Shams is reporting. Celtics Kristaps Porzingis suffered a torn medial retinaculum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon. It's as simple as that. You could just say that as opposed to a rare injury. Did you see this tweet?
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I mean, what is that?
I don't think
even
it's
mean?
really that rare.
Like
It happens to me every day.
Every day.
Can we just say
He's got a knee injury?
He's
What
got
is
a-
it? What even is
what are
it?
we doing?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous?
whatever. Game 3 tomorrow.
By the way, speaking of Shams, did you see that he was on this morning with Pat McAfee on ESPN?
I did not.
Dude,
Is he allowed to be?
I don't know. Apparently not. I mean, apparently he is because he was on with Pat McAfee.
I didn't realize that. What did he say?
It doesn't matter.
Woj, I'm coming for your job.
No, but
Isn't it an interesting rivalry that Woj?
He said Porzingis had a
Little ouchie.
Isn't it an interesting rivalry that Woj works for ESPN and Shams works for like Stadium?
it's very weird. Whatever Shams works for, he's 10 times bigger than that publication. Or
Isn't that weird?
outlet.
Like he doesn't work for TNT.
No,
He doesn't work for like NBC's about to get rights.
right.
Works for Stadium. It's just a weird like fit
Yeah.
because he's such like a credible, trusted source in the NBA.
I remember back in the COVID times,
Yeah,
he reported that the president at the time
had COVID.
had COVID.
Yes, he was the first to report Donald Trump had COVID.
And I was like,
"You're reporting this?
huh?
He's locked
Shams
in.
had it first?
He's dialed in."
Yeah.
All right, Jim Bowden, you had this first. Well, actually, the Athletic had it first, but
I
Jim
did
Bowden
not
wrote
have
it.
first. No.
The Padres.
Yes, our Padres.
Jim Bowden says they'll be looking to make some acquisitions. Shockingly, with the trade deadline 50 days away, 7 weeks in a day. What does Jim Bowden, former Major League Baseball GM, say the Padres are potentially looking for or needing at the deadline?
Oh, I thought you had it in front of you.
I don't.
Oh, I didn't have it.
I haven't even read the article. In fact.
Oh, you got me off.
You said it to me at a break.
I know, but I thought you were going to like read it. Hold on.
The only way I could read it is if you gave me the article.
Give me a second.
Here's
okay?
what he says.
Basically, the AJ Preller is going to be big fish hunting again at the trade deadline
Mhm.
with players like Jesus Luzardo and Garrett Crochet as
Right.
top names that Preller will be heavily in on
Mhm.
at the deadline. Expect him to make a trade for at least one top pitcher, or at least try to make a trade for a top pitcher, and also to try to bolster their bench and their bullpen.
So bench, bullpen, starter kind of speaks to our earlier theory of lineups kind of in good shape. By the way,
Ish.
their bench is also in decent shape. You're not going to upgrade your backup catcher.
No,
You're not going to.
Solano's fine.
Yeah, Solano, Peralta. That's a game we're comfortable playing.
They're not
And
getting rid of.
Sugar's a guy that can run.
No way in hell are they getting rid of Tyler Wade. Getting rid
Wadey.
of Tyler Wade because he's a baseball player.
He is a baseball player. Of course, he's a baseball player. So yeah, I don't not like their bench.
Here are some names that Jim Bowden is hearing that will be on the trade market come August.
This is in general, not tied to like the Padres.
No,
This is
no,
in
no, no.
general.
This is in general. These are the starting pitchers that in general he believes will be available.
Okay.
All right. Jesus Luzardo,
Hmm.
Luis Severino of the Mets,
Yeah.
Tyler Anderson of the Angels, Eric Fetty, Garrett Crochet of the White Sox, Jack Flaherty of the Tigers,
Overrated.
and Trevor Williams of the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
If he's healthy and pitching well. Williams, I guess, right now is on the injured list with a flexor muscle strain, but he is posting a 2.22 ERA over 11 starts.
Okay.
He does say that the asking prices are very high for most of them, and rightfully so, because the market for difference-making starters is so thin this year.
Mm-hmm.
So he also says Pete Alonso is expected to be the biggest power bat traded at the deadline. Other notable hitters, Brent Rooker, who's in town right now.
He's had a great year.
Lane Thomas of the Nationals, Josh Bell, and Taylor Ward of the Angels. So,
all right. So, but he expects Preller to be big game hunting.
These are the exact words that he says.
Let me hear it.
AJ Preller, the wheeler dealer, president of baseball operations for the Padres, is doing what he always does, trying to make another blockbuster deal to land a difference-making starter such as Jesus Luzardo or Garrett Crochet. The Padres are also trying to fine-tune their bench and add a right-handed reliever.
So he's trying to make a blockbuster move. That's like the headline for a YouTube video. Jim Bowden says the Padres are trying to make a blockbuster move.
Blockbuster move when they've already made two blockbuster moves this season.
Would you say they're both blockbuster? Ceases, arises. You're right. A third blockbuster in 1 year. You better win more than 80 games.
A runner-up for the Cy Young a couple years ago. A guy that would be considered a top 10 to 12 pitcher in baseball when he's on.
Okay.
And
two-time batting champ.
And the two-time batting champ, arguably the best hitter in baseball when it comes to batting average.
Yep, pure hitter.
Yeah, those are two blockbuster moves.
So, I mean, again, if you pair those two with another,
like three blockbuster moves in 1 year.
Yet the record's 35 and 35. You can't have three blockbuster additions.
I know.
Only the Padres and AJ Preller could have three blockbuster moves and be 500. In a dogfight with the Pirates with 4 days to play.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen,
but it could happen.
But I'm not saying it's not what's going to happen.
That's a great point. And that's kind of where
nobody else is making these blockbuster moves every day.
That's what we were talking about the other day. Garrett Crochet, yeah, cool, great. Jesus Luzardo, awesome.
Are those blockbusters? Like, you got Crochet. He's had an amazing year.
But he's also a guy that's now has surpassed the most innings he's ever pitched in baseball, and presumably will be on, I guess, an innings limit.
Acquire him just to shut him down.
I mean, yes, you acquire.
Hey, we've acquired Garrett Crochet. We're going to shut him down, though. He's reached his innings limit. We'll see you in 2025.
We're going to put him in the bullpen after trading our top 3 prospects in our organization.
Right. We've acquired Garrett Crochet for Ethan Salas.
But he's on an innings limit now.
Right.
It's like, no, you need him for this year.
Yeah. That's why it might not be a match made in heaven.
I don't know if it will be a match made in heaven.
Right.
It'd be awesome to have Garrett Crochet here, but it would have been nice to have Garrett Crochet here for the first 75, 80 innings he's already pitched this season, instead of the potential of the next 40 where, guess what? He's going to have to be shut down probably, or at least his innings are going to have to be limited.
How do you keep making blockbuster moves? Who are the players in the system they are trading away to acquire blockbuster players every 6 weeks?
Well, right now, the two that could come to mind is Snelling and Lesko.
Okay, your pitching prospects.
Maybe you could throw in Adam Mazer just because.
Because he allowed 7 runs the last time we saw him?
I don't know, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's amazing how they acquire top flight talent without giving up their top 5 prospects in the organization every single time.
And they're still 80-win team.
It's so weird how it all plays out.
Because if you get another quote-unquote blockbuster trade, I'm expecting them to be on the cusp, and this is the missing piece. And this takes you from an 87, 88 win team to a 90+ win team, and you're raring to go come postseason time.
You're saying the third blockbuster, you want to see that get them to that 90 win threshold?
Yeah, I am.
But is that even possible based on what we know through 70?
Well, that's the point. Is if you're doing this, you're potentially doing this for just an 83, 84 win team.
Right, but do you believe in them in the postseason? That's a good point. By the way, for this team to get to 90 wins,
they have to play some damn good baseball.
For them to get to 90, that's 55 and 37.
Okay.
So they just don't do that.
No.
If you're a Padres fan, you know that they don't routinely play like that under AJ Preller. In 10 years, maybe there's one stretch like that.
Yeah, they don't do
so
that ever.
To go from 35 and 35 to go get Garrett Crochet, and all of a sudden, boom, We're 55 and 37 to close. I mean, I hope I see it.
For a guy that's going to pitch every 5th day and probably have to be shut down and probably have to have an innings limit and probably have to be like on, pitch counts and or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's really worth it
for 50 days.
For the long term, maybe. But like, again, it's so much about this year. It's so much about this year.
Mm-hmm.
And while Garrett Crochet could be great for the next 2 years down the road, and the prospects you're giving up too, you're giving up some high level prospects for potentially an 83-win team.
All right, call right now. We'll get back to that in the 5 o'clock hour. Tom Penn, CEO of San Diego Football Club, SDFC. He will join us with more on the Chucky Lozano signing. He'll join us at 5 p.m. But coming up next, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. You need to call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. Great giveaway. The fair is back. It opens tomorrow. 4 tickets to the San Diego County Fair. If you want them, call right now. 877-767-4760. Again, one more time. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. The number to call, 877-767-4760. We have a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We'll give them away next. All right, Trainwreck Radio, sports trivia on the other side. Coming up at 5 p.m., the CEO of San Diego FC, Tom Penn. Stay with us. Tom Penn, CEO, San Diego FC. You got a question for him, Jim?
We'll find out.
Or our listener, 70470. Started with Team Chucky Lozano will be introduced to fans and media on Thursday. What's our timing here on like kits, schedules, players, expansion draft?
How much went into the process of getting Chucky to come here? Like it wasn't probably
Probably
like
not
this,
just like a text, hey, you want to come?
probably not. Like how much maybe convincing was it that they had to do? Because Chucky Lozano to the diehards is a massive, massive deal. And I get it. I mean, if I'm going to take their word for it, obviously. What am I going to say? Like, oh, this move sucks.
Yeah.
This move is overrated. Like, no, it's actually universally praised as a home run, signing. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about with Tom Penn.
All right, Tom Penn, San Diego FC CEO. He will join us coming up at 5 p.m. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, we're giving away a pair of tickets to see Third Eye Blind at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. This is June 21st in about a week or so. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Keep listening. We'll give those away in the 5 o'clock hour. Right now, let's play.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Scott and Marcus. Scott, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with Jim.
Wow. Controversial. All right, Scott and Jim.
Yeah, I have noticed since Jim got married, a lot more people are picking Jim.
Because like I'm now
you're like a real person.
I'm deemed smarter because I'm a married man.
Maybe.
Probably not. Marcus, you get John, all right?
That's great. I'll get some surprises you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Brent, what's the question of the day?
All right, I've been talking about the Holiday Bowl moving from Petco Park to Snapdragon this year. Did you know that there have been 9 college football teams that have appeared in the Holiday Bowl at least 4 or more times in its existence? So today's question, name any of the 9 college football teams that have appeared in the Holiday Bowl 4 or more times.
Okay.
All righty. Marcus, you're up first. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
I'm gonna go with the lifeline real quick.
Okay. That's you, John.
That's me. I mean, I will give you the layup. Jim doesn't know it's a layup, but it's an absolute layup. I think they appeared in the first 7 games. The BYU Cougars.
I knew that too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'll take it.
This was WAC champion.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how San Diego State got there one time. Oh, I should stop talking.
You should stop talking. Scott, you're up next. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
That was my first guess. Shoot. I'll say San Diego State.
All right, San Diego State. The answer is going to be no. They played in one game, and they lost to Iowa. I think in a really good game.
Marcus, you're up next. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
How about Oregon State?
Oregon State. Have they been in this game 4 times, Brent? Good guess.
Scott, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
I'm going to use my lifeline.
Mr. Holiday Bowl himself.
Yeah.
The historian.
Yes. I know everything about the Holiday Bowl. I will go with
it's always fun to watch Jim think. You can see the wheels turning.
They're turning, man.
He starts rubbing his eyes and sneezing. Turning. He looks very tired. Gets red.
I'll just go with a team that John actually mentioned. I'll go with Iowa.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
You take that. Or you can choose another team if you want.
You can take that?
Yeah, I'll take Iowa.
I kind of like it. Yeah, on the list. They played it twice, maybe the last 5 years.
Who's up? Oh, Marcus. Marcus, you're up next. You do not have a lifeline, so this is all up to you. This is your third guess. So what do you got?
How about Texas?
Texas Longhorns is going to be a no. Yes, that's right. That's what I meant. Texas.
Oh, Scott needs this to go to overtime. You don't have a lifeline, Scott, so it's all up to you. Name a school, Holiday Bowl, 4 more times appeared.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. I'm thinking of a purple team. God, I went and saw them twice there. Oh.
You're on the right path.
Vikings.
Northwestern.
There you go. Northwestern on the list.
Oh.
Marcus wins.
Ball game. Marcus.
Let me guess. Northwestern was 2 or 3,
They've
right?
had not 4.
They're not even on the list.
Well, they played in it. But
Not more than twice.
Okay.
That was my question.
So, okay, I'm going to say Washington State's on the list.
That is correct.
We said Iowa.
Is USC on the list?
Texas.
That is also correct.
USC.
Yeah.
BYU. Michigan State.
Nope.
What conference?
Couple Pac-12s. It used to be the Pac-12.
Couple Pac-12s. Oregon?
Yep.
Good call. Washington.
Yep.
And what other conference?
Just keep going. You're really warm with the last one.
Washington State?
I
Yes.
thought we said that. Oh, no? Okay. Is that everyone?
Yeah. BYU, Texas, Iowa, Oregon, USC. We forgot Washington, Nebraska, and Arizona State.
All right. Well, stay tuned to see who's in the 2024 game.
Right.
At Snapdragon Stadium. All right. Congratulations to, was Marcus, right?
Correct.
You've won a 4-pack of tickets to the 2024 San Diego County Fair going on from tomorrow through July 7th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Let's look back, have some fun together, and go retro. For tickets and info, go to sdfair.com. If you didn't win today, another chance to win tomorrow at this time on Jon and Jim. Tom Penn, CEO, San Diego Football Club, on the addition of Chucky Lozano and much, much more, will join us next to kick off hour 3 of Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Taco Bell. Game 2 on a Tuesday for the Padres against the Oakland A's. 6:40 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres tonight. NBA Finals, Game 3 tomorrow night, but big news for the Celtics, not great. Kristaps Porzingis is now questionable for the rest of the series with a right knee injury. And the Holiday Bowl today announced they are moving from Petco Park to Snapdragon Stadium for the upcoming football season. The Cravings Value Menu from Taco Bell, 10 items, each for just $3 or less, including faves like the cheesy double beef burrito, loaded beef nachos, and the 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt at participating U.S. stores while supplies last. Prices do vary. Taxes extra. Double seasoned beef compared to the beefy burrito supreme.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim with you until 6 p.m. here tonight. Our pleasure to once again have Tom Penn back with us here on San Diego Sports 760. I want to say he was with us about a year ago, close to the time when the team was unveiled here in San Diego. He's been on the station previously before as well, back with us right now on Jon and Jim. So, Tom, we appreciate you taking some time for us. We know the big news, Chucky Lozano being officially introduced to fans and the media on Thursday. And first and foremost, thanks for hopping on here tonight.
My pleasure. Once a year, that's what we get to do, right?
Once a year until we start. Maybe we can go a little more appearances as we get going here.
Right, when the team officially gets on the pitch and on the field, then we'll start upping our appearances.
If you want to join us tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Let's aim higher. Let's go. Aim higher.
All right. So, Tom, let's start with Lozano. So you add a player that's in the prime of his career for this, Major League Soccer expansion franchise. What was the pitch from SDFC's perspective to lure him, so to speak, to this club?
Yeah, come back to North America. It's really hard to get a player to leave Europe in his prime like this, and particularly to do it mid-season. But we pitched him on the idea of being a cornerstone, a foundational piece, a once-in-a-career chance that most don't get to really come, embrace the market, be the face of the club. If when things go well, there'll be a statue of this guy out front of our stadium. It's the kind of legacy you can leave. So we started with that. Let's talk to him about Right to Do, which is our one-of-a-kind youth academy that we're building a $150 million project out on Squan's land, giving opportunities to the best of the best 12-year-old kids, boys and girls from U.S. and Mexico. And when Chucky heard that, it just really resonated with him because he lived that pathway. And he wants to help as many kids as possible and be a model for the next generation.
When you thought about, all right, who is going to be the first big signee for San Diego FC, was Chucky on top of the list? Like, was he a guy that you guys targeted as a club from the beginning as perfect fit, prime of his career? It appeals to our fan base, the hardcore fan base, but also it can bring in a lot of the casual newcomers as well for a guy in his prime, and how exciting he is on the field.
Yes, you want an attacking player who's dynamic, who's going to score goals, create goal scoring chances for his teammates, electric, quick, athletic. He's all those things. Then when he's 28 years old, he's from Mexico. He's one of the most decorated Mexican internationals in terms of his performance. And then the finishing touch is he's won everywhere he's been. He's just raised trophies since he was 18, 19 years old. In Mexico at Pachuca, they won the league, and then they won the Champions League in North America. Then he goes over to Holland, they win the league. He goes to Napoli, and that's one of the most competitive leagues in the world, or prestigious leagues, but it's not that competitive because it's always won by AC Milan or Inter Milan or Juventus, those three. And he's part of the Napoli squad that goes up and wins the cup, which was incredible. And then he finishes it off by going back to Holland and at PSV, and they win it again last year. So you'll hear him talk about how he wants to win trophies. That's what he's used to, and that's what we aspire to do.
San Diego FC CEO Tom Penn with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So he'll officially be introduced to the media and fans on Thursday. For those attending Thursday's event at the Rady Shell, what can they expect?
Oh, it's gonna be a party. It'll be a lot of fun. We're about to announce, if we haven't yet, a really big time music act to accompany him. So we got a cool music act coming, along with just a fun, festive fiesta kind of atmosphere. Rady Shell is such an iconic spot. We don't have that many chances to bring together thousands of people like we did at our brand launch. This will be one of those cool moments. We wanted to do it on the waterfront in downtown. It's really just a cool chance to engage and all of us preview what it's going to be like at Snapdragon Stadium once we're here 20, 23 times a year, just making the city go crazy.
And for you guys having it at the Rady Shell, was there any other location that you guys were thinking about having it, or is in your mind, because of the turnout that possibly you guys could get on Thursday, with 11,000+ that could probably attend, is that something where you were like, okay, that's the perfect spot downtown for this, introduction of this type of player?
Yeah, I mean, we thought about the stadium too, because it's always nice to remind everybody that's where we're going to be playing, and Snapdragon's such a cool location. But we felt like for this one, with a single focal point like the Shell itself, and being in that cool iconic venue in the community, it's just a different visual and a different moment. And so we're confident it's going to be a really cool special event. It's primarily for our members who've already put down deposits, but we're still taking a ton of ticket deposits, so there's still availability out there. And then we're on sale now with all of our club seats, so we're filling up our premium clubs, and then next month we go on sale with our lower bowl seats. So we're getting in that mode where people get the chance to get their season tickets. And, if you want club seats, you can do it right now.
Right. So San Diego FC's CEO Tom Penn with us right now on Jon and Jim. So for our listeners, Tom, and even for us, I mean, we're not overly familiar with Major League Soccer, truthfully, even international soccer.
Yep.
We're more casual fans, myself and Jim. So when you add a player like Lozano, he's quote unquote a designated player, and MLS clubs can have, correct us if I'm wrong, multiple designated players, as in this is a marquee signing, but you could make additional marquee international signings beyond Lozano, or how does this work?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So there's a salary cap in MLS, but it's a soft salary cap, and there are exceptions that allow you to spend over it. And the primary exception that's used is the designated player rule. And that sprang into effect when the Galaxy were able to sign David Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
We all remember that.
Sure.
It's like they have this strict salary cap, and they're like, wait a minute, Beckham will come?
Right.
So they created an exception. They called everybody gets one designated player. Well, over time, that grew to 3 designated players. So any team in the league can sign 3 players and pay them whatever they want, and they don't count against the salary cap. So the next thing that happened in the evolution of MLS is they said, well, wait a minute, we got all this money tied up in only 3 players. What about the next 5 players, 6 players on the roster? Let's figure out an exception for those players. And they came up with various ways to pay more than the maximum salary to players 4 through 8, 9, 10, something like that. And that'll be the bulk of the priority roster. And then there are other rules, guys, just while we're talking about it, that incentivize teams to invest in young players. And that's what we're going to do over time, is home grow these young players and bring in young 18, 19-year-old ascending talent that's going to do really well here and then move back to Europe maybe, or go on to another league and then come back to us again. So there's all sorts of international movement of players, and MLS fits right in the middle of it.
And with Chucky, being the big name that you guys have brought here, and just talking about the exception rule and everything, is the fan base, should they expect maybe you guys to be going after other big name players to come here for their inaugural season for 2025?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's been a lot of names in the news of sort of really well-known older players that it would be at the end of their run in Europe who would come. And there could be one of those that fits in a way that helps solidify our culture and establish our locker room, and a player who's still got a couple of years left in him. or do we go younger? And it wouldn't be anybody that would be a star recognizable name, but it'd just be quality and substance, so that we fall in love with that player. And maybe he's 19, 20, or 21, and he's on the rise, and he's, we don't want to win the press conference. We want to win matches. So we want to have a competitive team that's going to be in the playoffs and it's going to be on track to compete for trophies as soon as possible. And what you need is quality players for that. So, when you go beyond a handful of players, you got to Google who this guy is anyway, if you're like you guys are, right?
Sure.
And that's how I used to be, because I was in basketball and I wasn't as much of an international football fan. So, you get beyond about a half a dozen players, and a lot of folks don't know who they are anyway. So what we want is the substantive players who are going to make a difference and help us win.
Tom Penn is with us right now. He's San Diego FC CEO. I'm curious, Tom, because again, you've worked in other sports, like you said, and at some point in your career, you were more of a casual soccer fan than where your career has taken you. What's the marketing strategy? Everyone knows diehard soccer fans, and there's a ton of them in San Diego County, will be enamored, obviously, about Major League Soccer in the city. For those that are on that fringe, myself, some of our listeners, Jim, what's the marketing strategy? I've used the word lure previously with you already in the interview, but how do you find these individuals, these households, these families? What's the strategy to bring those type of people in and attract them to games?
You know what it is? It's major league sports wearing the San Diego name.
Mm-hmm.
It's a source of community pride, and the games are fun as hell. I mean, it's just going to be a great scene, because this is me. I was in Portland, Oregon. I'm with the Trailblazers. I'm in the NBA, and I get invited to a Timbers match when they were newly into MLS. And when I went, I was just stunned at how fun it was, because the fans are singing the entire match in the end zone. The supporters start singing before the match and never stop. And the same thing happened at LAFC, and the same thing is going to happen here with our supporter group. And it's just vibrant and fun and alive, and it's only a 2-hour event, and it's exciting. I didn't understand. I was one of those guys that they never score any goals. There's not enough scoring for that whole. I guarantee you guys probably have said that, right? And then what you come to realize, when you don't score much, when it happens, it's like a game-winning three-pointer. Like every goal feels, since it doesn't happen much and you're on your seat's edge waiting for it, you're going to hug whoever's next to you. So it's just a cool thing. There's only 2 to 2.5 of them a month in town, home matches. So it's not like everyday sort of thing, or even 4 days a week. It's every couple of weeks, kind of like college football is, or the way the Chargers was, and it's an event. It's a community event.
Where are you at with the process of the kits? Like, as far as the design of them, and then when should fans expect like a reveal before next year, obviously?
Yeah, the design is done, dusted, and in production. So but yeah, Adidas is the group licensee doing every single kit in the league, home and away. And so we've already put to bed the full design with all the little bells and whistles. The only thing left to do is determine who our partner is on the front, who the jersey sponsor would be. But they're in production, and the announcement will likely be close to the start of the season, because those all get sequenced where they get delivered in bulk to the entire league. And it'll probably be, sometime in January.
Tom, before I got to Sports Talk Radio, I spent portions of my career in minor league baseball. And every time a minor league baseball team unveils a logo or a name, it gets ripped to shreds and then sells like wildfire. I was in Lehigh Valley. They were called the Iron Pigs. Be like, how can you name a team after pigs? Or the Richmond Flying Squirrels? And I go to the reaction that you guys had when you had the logo reveal. It was polarizing. People love it. People hate it. There's people in between. What type of reaction have you received? And then what have you seen in terms of the interest in the logo from when it was unveiled to where we are today?
Funny, we've seen consistent hate coming, ironically, from Los Angeles. From all those zip codes up there, we see a lot of hate. which I always found kind of fun and interesting that they're relevant enough that they cared, which is cool.
Right.
Because, we know that'll be a rivalry. So when we announced that, we knew it was a little unusual because it's got so many layers to it. It wasn't like we just put a palm tree or something that was identifiable with Southern California. We kind of created this symbol of 18 different cities woven into one, and we called it the flow. So as we've unpacked that and put it into action, the reaction's been hugely positive. I mean, we've sold a ton of stuff, to your point, and we didn't have to use a pig or call it the pig or something like that. So we didn't want to be gimmicky with it. We wanted to be like substantive and have it grow over time. And we're really we're probably in the first inning on that. Still, there's a long way to go. And as it comes in action and this concept of flow, which really represents the performing at a peak level in like a flow state, but then also the unique rhythm of life here that only San Diegans get, life's really good down here around here. And we getting stuff done by day and then enjoying our weekends and our beautiful weather and our life. That's what we want to symbolize.
For head coach, general manager, do you have a timetable on when those things will happen with this club?
Yeah, we're focused a lot on the head coach now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really important hire because our affiliation with Right to Dream, and we have a sibling club over in Denmark that has really smart soccer people, and Jeppe and Marcus, the two players we have had in town last week, they're playing on that team in Denmark, and they'll come to us. So we need a coach that's going to align with the Right to Dream style, that's going to emphasize the way that we're going to train all these young players in Ghana, Denmark, Egypt, and right here in San Diego. We're training all these kids to play the same way. So we need a coaching staff that embraces that. So that's not easy to find. It's not like you just go out and get some coach and say, hey, do this. He has to really dig in, understand what that is, and be committed to it. So I think that's our highest priority now, is some more player transactions as we work on this, and then getting that head coach locked in.
Tom, final one from me. The announcement you had recently about the relationship with friendlies with the Cholos, that 5-year agreement with matches being played at Snapdragon Stadium. What does that mean for your club?
Well, it's just more of a cultural celebration of football and using the game as the anchor for that. There's no community in America like San Diego, Tijuana, and the integrated binational life that is reality here. I was in LA for 8 years and I had no idea about it till I came down here, and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So we really got along so well, ownership on down with Cholos, and we felt it was just cool to do something special together, announce a 5-year deal that's never happened anywhere like this, internationally. And then, really the challenge for us is what can we build around it? Different community programs, different activations and celebrations of football, and when to put it in the calendar and what to do with it is the fun part that's ahead of us.
Tom, congratulations on everything to this point. Chucky Lozano will officially be introduced Thursday to the media and SDFC fans and San Diegans in general. We're looking forward to that. We appreciate you taking time for us. I know there's a lot to come between now and the start of 2025, but thanks for taking some time for us here on San Diego Sports 760.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, guys, let's do it sooner than a year.
I look forward to it. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thank you. Thanks, Tom. All right, the CEO of San Diego FC, Tom Penn. Interesting. The one thing I didn't ask that I wanted to ask, but I don't. It would have probably been in generalities. Is just how are sales? Like, what is the expectation? You're going to fill it. You're going to fill Snapdragon Stadium 20 times, or on the weekends that's the plan, and during the week it's more like half filled. I don't know. Like NWSL, San Diego Wave has been wildly successful here. They've drawn huge crowds. Are they going to draw in line with NWSL, beyond NWSL? What's the expectation?
Well, I'm just speaking for Tom. I probably should have asked him.
Yeah,
probably should have asked him. But I would expect that their expectations are $35K every single match.
Right.
Like,
no, I agree with you.
You know, why aim for anything lower than that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, MLS, we are a team that's in the major, league here, right? This is not lower than it's the
top
major
level,
it's top level
in America,
soccer in America. So why should we expect anything less? And that's what they should have their expectations be. Like, we're going to go in every match, every single game day, expecting 35K.
The thing about the logo, we were critical, and I wanted to make it clear. I've been a part of that process where you unveil something. Did you know it is on social media? If you say John Schaefer and Jim Russell are doing a show together, some people say, "Oh, that's great." Other people be like, "That's a terrible idea," and it goes beyond and beyond. Everyone gets it. So, like when San Diego State hires Sean Lewis, oh, it's great. No, it's not. Or you announce a new logo, and oh, it's great. Oh, it's not. So I understand that. But in the moment when they unveiled it, there was a lot of criticism. There was a lot of reaction. It was polarizing. Now, to Tom's point, it sounds like it's resulted in a lot of sales.
I like Tom just throwing that out there. And I don't know if it's true or not, but the dig at LA. Because
a lot of the hate's coming from
what they're trying to do, which is smart, is build a rivalry with LAFC,
LA Galaxy,
but probably mostly LAFC.
Man, maybe.
And Galaxy as well. But still, I mean, it's something that makes the game day experience better when you know you're like, it's a rivalry. So to throw that in there, that was very smart marketing by Tom.
And honestly, I remember the day we were critical of it. And again, we were just providing our opinions. I thought Darren, in like the days that followed that, or even the day of, he's probably right with the measured approach of like, guys, it's a logo, but in soccer, it's a lot more about like the kit. Where the logo, unlike where you see Padres across the chest for the Padres, the logo is just like a patch. And then the kit is going to be completely different from just the logo. The logo is like going to be potentially 2% of the jersey, where the jersey could also say across the front of it, like Snapdragon or a sponsor across the chest.
So, I mean, like, I don't think it's the greatest logo. I think it's kind of average. Like, there's some parts of it that I do like, but I'm with you. When this thing goes on a kit,
it's going to be different.
And we see it, it will be different, in my opinion. And the kit will mean a lot. Now, if you're maybe hoping for a very unique type of kit, I don't know if you should expect that.
Based on what he said?
Yes, and because usually when you're looking at all of the MLS teams that are Adidas sponsored here.
Are there similarities across them?
There's a lot of similarities with teams here. Like if I would go to I don't know, let's just go to like the Earthquakes again. Okay. All right. Like their kit is, the 3 lines, right?
Right.
And then I mean it's not like a standout type of kit. There's parts of Earthquake jerseys that could be standout. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking forward to, because if you have a dope kit, then you got me as far as like I'll look past maybe the logo as being, to me, nothing that like stands out and screams San Diego.
Right. And like, again, I work for a club that was named the Iron Pigs. I wasn't necessarily enamored with it from day one, but it grew on me. Flying squirrels.
Yeah.
Rubber ducks. Trash pandas. When you hear it initially,
I do like trash pandas.
Yeah, but again, it takes time to sometimes win people over. So I do feel like it is fair to give them potentially time to win people over as well with kits, logos, and beyond.
They have some colors there that I think if you put those colors on there in there, it would look really cool. I'm just hoping it's not the generic blue color. Yeah,
like, we've seen a lot of blue.
Like there's a colorway here, which is almost like it's like a yellow reddish blue, right? Almost like a gradient type of thing. If those were like the primary colors infused into this logo, like the kits, that would look pretty cool.
And again, we're the casuals. I love the logos. Yes. I love marks. I love colors. I think if you're a diehard soccer fan, you don't care.
Like, hi, I'm a casual.
But for people like me and Jim, like it is impactful. All right. On the other side, we'll give away a pair of tickets to Third Eye Blind. This is at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on June 21st. Also, the Padres begin a test tonight. What is it? We'll explain on the other side. Stay with us. All right, the Padres begin a test tonight. What is that? Plus Jim's back page still ahead.
This update's brought to you by Taco Bell. John, it's game 2 on a Tuesday as the Padres, you like that? The Padres take on the Oakland A's tonight, 6:40 first pitch. Padres are going for their second straight win. They're riding a one-game winning streak. Randy Vasquez, Padres tonight. Moving over to the NBA, Kristaps Porzingis is questionable for the rest of the series with a rare knee injury. And the Holiday Bowl today announced they're moving the Holiday Bowl from Petco Park to Snapdragon Stadium. The Cravings Value Menu from Taco Bell, 10 items each for just $3 or less, including faves like the cheesy double beef burrito, loaded beef nachos, and the 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt at a participating U.S. stores while supplies last. Prices do vary. Taxes extra. Double seasoned beef compared to the Burrito Supreme. I really need to go out and get a Crunchwrap Supreme with the Cheez-It in the middle.
They're out.
I know they are.
Okay. Oh, you can do that anytime.
I'm just
No
like,
one's holding you back.
That's from a previous back page that you didn't listen to.
yes.
About the crunchy. Was that just the ad read?
That's the Cheez-It thing, yeah.
Okay.
No, I did an ad read for Taco Bell.
So go
but
tonight.
Maybe. I mean, our buddy Rich McGuire, shout out Rich, gave me and Aaron for a wedding present, $25 gift card to Taco Bell.
Perfect. Everything you got it covered on the ride home.
She was craving a Crunchwrap Supreme after the wedding night, and she devoured it. I also devoured like 5 crunchy tacos. But
go tonight.
Maybe I will, John.
You should, since you're talking about it right now.
I hope it doesn't go out before I get it.
Or you could go before the Third Eye Blind concert, June 21st, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll give away tickets to that in the next 5 or 7 minutes. We do have Jim's back page ahead. By the way, can I just say this for people like on the text, like, oh, stop saying kit or don't say guys, we're just gonna do our thing. Like if it's a kit for some and it's a uniform for others, and if it's a game for some and a match for others, and it's a field, I don't know. Okay, we've said it repeatedly. We're not soccer aficionados. We don't know everything about the sport. We're learning on the job. When we don't talk about San Diego FC, people say, I can't believe you're not talking about San Diego FC. When we do talk about San Diego FC, why are you calling it a kit? It's a uniform. I don't know.
How about this? And I don't know if 858's a soccer fan or not. How about you stop being a snobby soccer fan, please?
Or snobby snocker snock.
Yes,
whatever Jim said
from a Dr. Seuss book.
Right,
a snobby schnocker sock fan.
Everyone on YouTube, oh, it's a pitch. It's not a feed. I don't know.
Stop it.
Let us. Again, am I that guy in baseball to do that to people? Probably. If someone told me like the final pitcher is coming in, I'd be like, you're an idiot. It's a closer.
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone knows everything about all things, is my point. So let us kind of learn on the fly with some of you. I don't think everyone knows everything about Major League Soccer that's listening to us, do they?
No.
Yeah, I think there's actually a lot. I think it's very relatable that we have something to learn.
It's called a field, not a pitch.
Anyway, Padres tonight will begin a stretch of 4 consecutive games against left-handed starters. All right, this is game 2 of a 3-game series against the Oakland A's. All went well last night for the Padres. They're still heavy favorites tonight. Randy Vasquez is starting.
I don't view that as like a thing I look towards, though.
What?
Like being a favorite or not?
Why not?
Because this team has been favorites in a lot of games this year and they've lost.
Well, I mean, but Vegas kind of has a feel for this. They're not just making the Padres favorites to then always lose.
Well, I also think if the Padres were, I don't know, it's not the barometer I look at.
Well, that's great.
I'm just letting you know.
Last night, heavy favorite, big win. Tonight, not as heavy of a favorite, but they are a heavy favorite. Minus 165 behind Randy Vasquez tonight in game 2. So again, 4 consecutive games against left-handed starters. Beginning tonight, they did what I suggested. Keep Luis Ariz, keep Jackson Merrill, keep Jake Cronenworth in the lineup. Now, do they produce? Or does it look like they've looked a lot this year at home?
Do you think Schulte was listening the other day and he's like,
no, earlier today.
Earlier today, in between his media session.
I know because the lineup came out at 4:10 and the show started at 3. So that hour, does he have an alibi? He's not going to alibi it, but does he have an alibi for what he was doing from 3 to 4 p.m.? He might have been listening to us. Without an alibi, he might not alibi it.
Wow.
You like that?
I do like that a lot.
2 usages of alibi.
That's very good. Alibi is like
his favorite word.
One of his favorite words.
By the way, if you missed the wrap-up show last night, Jim went on a tangent, a Mike Schilt tangent. Would you like to explain? Have you changed your tune? Brent wants to hear.
Brent's like, oh, my ears are now perked.
I heard tangent. Go on.
Here's the thing with Mike Schilt. And I've said this multiple times, so this is nothing new, but I'll express it again. And I kind of went off last night. I think Mike Schilt, as far as a manager goes, he's fine. He's maybe better than average. Okay. And both of us haven't really had that much of an issue with Mike Schilt's managerial style.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're looking at his managerial style, you could probably be more positive than not. Like for some moves that he's made, obviously no one's perfect. And there's some times where like, why did he do that? But I can't name one instance where there was this egregious move that he made where I'm like, oh my God, what is Mike Schilt doing? And that it potentially costs him the game. Okay. That's one side of the coin. Right. That's how I feel about Mike Schilt as a manager. And I think he's middle of the pack, pushing his way towards the top, and he's a respected guy. And
he's changed a little bit from last night. But
no, I said the same thing.
Yeah, I said middle of the pack pushing towards the top.
That's exactly what I said. I said top 15, maybe pushing towards top 10 manager in baseball. Okay. Him post game and him talking about his team, I can't stand at times because it comes off as like, to me, just kind of disingenuous. And it comes off as like a little bit try hard, and it comes off to me like, what game are you watching? Like, it just, to me, it comes off more cringy than not. And I'm not saying this to like say Mike Schultz is a bad guy. I've never met Mike Schultz in my life. I mean, I'm sure he's a great human being, great. I'm just specifically talking about his post-game press conferences, and when he talks to the media, I kind of look at it as this potentially could be a train wreck at any moment.
Okay, fair. But let me ask you this. It's different. But like, let's say Manny Machado was cringe with the media, polarizing, said the wrong things, brash.
I know where you're going.
Right?
I know where you're going.
But he produces.
Then that's all that matters.
It's all that matters. Now, Schilt's job is different. He doesn't. I'm about to sneeze.
Oh, boy. What happened? Oh, Joe.
Wow.
Jon just sneezed.
I've been dealing with a little ouchie. It's not no.
Like a little
Like-
allergy ouchie?
Like an ouchie. Like if I was you, I would have taken like 3 days off from the show.
What?
Little ouchie.
I'm saying like I haven't been 100%.
Okay.
But I'm saying if Manny produces, do you care if he's brash in the clubhouse?
No, nobody cares.
If Schulte does his job, to your point, you said nothing's been egregious. He's making the right in-game decisions.
Well,
Pull the
35
right strings.
John, 35 and 35.
But
It's 35 and 35.
Nah, that's fine. But I mean, are you going to tell me that with Bruce Bochy's Texas Rangers this year or the Houston Astros?
Oh, stop. Bruce Bochy.
so okay,
no.
so you're not. So
Bochy's won 4 World Series, man.
But I'm saying, like, okay, so what? Mike Schulte had a 92-win team with St. Louis. He had an 18-game winning streak. He had 3 playoff teams in St. Louis. Did he not?
But Bruce Bochy just won a World Series with the Texas Rangers.
Okay, well, Bob Melvin.
Okay.
You hold Bob Melvin in higher regard than Mike Schulte. Oh, he guided a team to a National League Championship Series. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the only. Is it that or is it the in-season record?
To me, it's
also in-season record is hard to put on a manager. Be honest.
No, it is. It is for sure. But we also have blamed the manager a lot around here.
Absolutely.
So, like, why is Mike Schulte held in any different standard than anybody else that we've talked about as far as a manager here goes?
I don't know.
Okay, so that's my point.
I don't even know what I'm saying. Other than, yes, they're 35 and 35, but I could argue maybe that they'd be worse without him. I don't know if they'd be better. I don't even know.
And honestly, frankly, like, while I do sit there and like just waiting, for a Mike Schulte press conference, it is probably one of the more entertaining things about covering Mike Schulte.
It's the best.
Is his press conference. Like, yeah, it might annoy me, and yeah, it might come off cringy in my eyes, but man, is that post-game press conference a must-watch. It is a must-watch press conference majority of the time. Because you're just, hey, this guy could go off and his Schulteisms and what, again, if they lose, nobody's going to find it cute and funny that Mike Schulte has nicknames for everybody.
Right.
If they win,
I guess
it's the cutest,
valid.
greatest thing on the planet,
Yeah.
and I'll probably be on board with you because all that matters is winning.
I guess it's fair. If they were 40 and 30 and he was doing this, maybe that's different than if they're 35 and 35.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be sitting here talking about that if they were 40 and 25. No chance in hell.
Jim's back page. Bruce Bochy's 31 and 34 this year. Jim's back
He
page.
won a World
next.
Series last year. Stop.
Where's he been?
Stop. No.
Where's he been?
Stop.
What's he done lately?
Yeah, not this year. All right, Jim's back page. Next. All right, if you're wondering,
I'm not.
Fernando Tatis Jr. has hit in 16 consecutive games. That's a career high.
Okay.
He's hit 5 home runs in those 16 games.
Okay.
And he's been very good. He hit his first opposite field home run of the season last night.
Mhm.
Did you hear this?
Well, ooh.
Okay. Before we get to Jim's back.
I was about
Listen to this, Brent.
I was about to tell you something that you may have not heard, and I was going to ask you the same question.
Listen to this, Brent. Tell me if you knew this. Don't tell me yet, Jim.
Could we read it? Could we read it at the same time?
It's no way the same thing. It's not.
How? Oh, it's not.
Okay. Did you know this exact thing, Brent? Of the 2,047 home runs that have been hit in the major leagues this season, just 39 have been hit at least 106 miles per hour to the opposite field with a launch angle of 19 degrees or lower.
I'm not fact.
Everyone knows that.
I'm not fact
Did you know
checking
that?
that. So
Because I knew that.
I didn't know that.
That's from Kevin's newsletter today. That's what Fernando Tatis Jr. did last night.
Wow.
Now, what were you going to share?
I was going to share that if you didn't know, now you will know. No player has started the All-Star games both in the outfield and at shortstop in their career. Mookie Betts and Fernando Tatis Jr. each have a chance to do so this year.
Wow, I like that stat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mookie Betts has 5 outfield starts. He's on the 2024 ballot as a shortstop. Tatis, obviously, the one start that he had at shortstop. He's on the ballot this year as an outfielder. So there you go.
Wait, Boots. Boots is on the wait.
Boots is
Betts is on the ballot as what?
a shortstop.
Well, then how can he start in the outfield?
Because he's already started 5 All-Star games in the outfield.
It's been a long.
It's been a long
It's
day.
been a long
for you.
show.
You okay?
No, let's get to it.
So we talked about it a little bit. You know, it's a sad day for America when Joey Chestnut's not allowed to compete in the hot dog eating contest on July 4th. But I also stated this is kind of like a Joey Chestnut thing because he chose to go team up with a competitor
Yeah, he made his vegan bed. He can sleep in it.
Mm-hmm.
But Joey Chestnut has released a statement on his social media
saying,
"I was gutted to learn that the media, or I was gutted to learn from the media that after 19 years, I'm banned from the Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest.
Wow.
I love competing in that event. I love celebrating America with my fans all over this great country on the 4th, and I have been training to defend my title. Set the record straight. I do not have a contract with MLE or Nathan's, and they are looking to change the rules from past years as it relates to other partners I can work with. This is apparently the basis on which I'm being banned, and it doesn't impact the July 4th event. Sadly, this is the decision Nathan's and Major League Eating are making, and it will deprive the great fans of the holiday's usual joy and entertainment. To my fans, I love you and I appreciate you. Rest assured that you'll see me eat again soon. Stay hungry."
Yeah, that just ruined the 4th of July because I can't watch him eat 200 hot dogs. You know, we might as well just let the British win.
Well, wait, is he banned? Is this like a Tucupita Marcano situation? Like, is this a lifetime ban?
It kind of sounds like it's a ban until he stops, I guess, being associated with this
Impossible Foods.
Then yeah, buddy, you ain't going to compete.
Why doesn't Impossible put on a similar event?
Because they probably can't get enough people to enter.
Cross town.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is going to compete. And if they do compete, they're not eating like 50 hot dogs.
Impossible dogs?
Impossible.
I'd enter. Me versus Joey Chestnut.
Well, TMZ is reporting, John, don't give up hope just yet, America.
Really?
There's still a chance Joey Chestnut could take the stage and devour dozens of hot dogs this 4th of July. With sources telling TMZ, event organizers are keeping the door open for the greatest eater of all time. Here's the deal. We're told Jaws did, in fact, ink an endorsement with a plant-based food company to promote its vegan glizzy product.
What?
They used the word glizzy.
Okay.
It's a major no-no, but as it stands right now, the organizers of the event are currently trying to resolve the issue to allow Joey Chestnut compete in the hot dog eating contest on July 4th because of what Joey Chestnut means to the event and because it's Joey freaking Chestnut.
So again, if this was like the 50th competitive eater, he's gone. Like if this is Tucupita Marcano, he's gone.
Yeah.
But would there be different rules for Ohtani?
Yeah.
Will there be different rules for Joey Chestnut?
John,
is this a marketing ploy?
John, let's be real here. There was already different rules for Ohtani.
Chestnut
it was all Ipe's fault.
Okay.
I was just gonna say he should just come out and just say that it was his interpreter's fault and that he signed the deal with Impossible.
Yeah.
It's not him.
I like that.
Always have a
An
fall
interpreter.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or an interpreter.
Right.
Always.
That's basically Jim for me.
Not good news for In-N-Out fans. They are raising the prices of their burgers in response to California's minimum wage increases. In-N-Out is raising prices just 2 months after California instituted a minimum wage increase for fast food workers. Does not say right now what the price is. Oh, wait, sorry, they do. Right now, a double combo in Los Angeles County will cost $11.44, up 76 cents from last year. That's a pretty big jump, man.
$11.44 for fast food.
Well, I could go to In-N-Out Burger, get a regular cheeseburger, fries, and a drink.
How much is that?
It was like before, it was like 8 something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other day, because I went like maybe 2 weeks ago, it was around $10.
You want to know how to get free food?
How?
And
Work there
Nathan's hot dog.
Or work there. I'm sure you have to only get a discount when you work there. You probably
get a really big discount though.
All right, if you missed anything today, sportsnsd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. If you missed our conversation with San Diego FC CEO Tom Penn, you can find it there as well. We're back tomorrow at 3 for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760, okay?